again. Mamas hold photographs and wipe away the tears, 'cause some never made it home, and it's still hard to hear. On that hallowed ground, white crosses row by row, everyone a story only heaven fully knows. Freedom ain't just a word, it's a price somebody paid, written in the blood of the brave. Tonight we light a candle and raise our voices high for every soul that stood that ground and never got a chance to say goodbye. God bless the ones who gave it all, the ones who answered duty's call, who stood for freedom strong and tall, and fought the fight so we'd never fall. May we never forget to remember the red, white, and blue, 'cause every star and every stripe was bought by those heroes standing true. On this day we pray, Lord, let their memories stay. Bless the ones for all they gave. Some were barely 18, chasing dreams across the sea, all left behind a family, some a wife to be. They carried all our hopes into the darkest nights, so we could sleep in peace with no worry in sight. Somewhere a bugle will play soft and low, while families hold each other where the roses grow. The fallen may be gone from sight, but they still lead the way in the land for which they pay. Let the church bells ring out, let songs of freedom ring high, for every heart that gave its last beat beneath the foreign sky. God bless the ones who gave it all, the ones who answered duty's call, who stood for freedom strong and tall, and fought the fight so we'd never fall. May we never forget to remember the red, white, and blue, 'cause every star and every stripe was bought by those heroes stand true. On this day we pray, Lord, let their memories stay, and bless the ones for all they gave. If you listen to the silence, you can hear the angels sing, for the warriors who carry freedom on brave and faithful wings, and the liberty that feeds our breath still echoes with their names. God bless the ones who gave it all, the brave who stood so tall. May this nation always honor the ones who gave all. And when flags wave above, from sea to shining sea, we'll remember those who paid the cost for every liberty. On this day we pray, Lord, help America stay forever worthy of the ones who gave it all one day.
That was awesome, Larry. Thank you very much.
That was a YouTube video.
Thank
I
you.
could not come up with one that would do justice.
That was oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. Oh, wow.
That is,
I have no words. That was awesome. So I have some. Can I start off with some fun facts about Memorial Day? I shouldn't say fun, but
interesting facts about Memorial Day.
interesting facts. You just posted that. It was on May 1st. Formerly slaves decorated the Union officers and Union graves from the who died in the Confederate prison. Um, and on May 30th, 1868, uh, took place for fallen soldiers in the Civil War. Over 20,000 graves were decorated at Arlington Cemetery. And Mary, well, you and I talked about this the other day. It was in 1967 that Memorial Day became Memorial Day. I do remember my grandparents saying that we were going to go to the cemetery and decorate their fallen friends that they lost in the war. It was my grandma was saying she had to do it Decoration Day, and it turned to Memorial Day in 1967. And the very first person who killed in military action in the Civil War was Daniel Hay, or Ho. And the last person killed was John Williams at the Battle of Clemento Ranch in Brownsville, Texas. So Monday was a very somber day. I do remember I was growing up in South Jersey, and I met this friend, and he just got drafted to Vietnam, and he never came home. He was killed in action over there. So that's probably the only person I know that was killed in action. But it's a very somber day, and we should give thanks to the people who fallen for our freedom. So it's it's not all barbecues and fun. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. I'm just saying you should really take time to go to cemeteries and just give your respects to the fallen.
Tell us about your service there, Kurt, please. I know
Oh,
you've
I
been
didn't serve. Oh, I
Kurt's a
didn't serve.
civilian.
I was a civilian. I never served. I wish I did, but I tried. I wanted to go into the Navy, but the Navy didn't want me because of my flat feet. So they, they said, no, sorry, but I wish I did. I really did.
but you helped in so many other ways, Kurt. Keep up
Yes.
your good, keep up
Hmm.
your good work.
Thank you. You too.
You know, one of the things that you don't talk about or we don't hear about in history books is actually the practice of decorating graves with flowers. One of the earliest Memorial Day ceremonies was organized by former slaves
Yes.
out of Charleston. And after the war ended, freed African Americans discovered a mass grave where Union prisoners had been buried. And they reburied the soldiers properly, built the memorial arch, organized a parade, and decorated the graves with flowers.
Hmm.
Thousands attended. So, some people or some historians actually qualify or say that is one of the very first observances of Memorial Day. And
It's amazing that people think it's a northern tradition, but it's all southern. It's a southern tradition. It started way back in I think it was 61. A woman just started decorating the Confederate graves, and it just um, caught on. And
mhm.
now people don't realize it was from the South that started a long time back in 1861. Like you said, there's the marking of the Union soldiers who died at the prison. That was the very first decoration.
And one thing that is missed a lot is that Memorial Day
Mhm.
isn't just about sacrifice, but it's also
Mhm.
about freedom. It's about citizenship and the rebirth of a
Yes.
nation.
Yeah. Without them giving their lives for us to be free, live free, we would probably talk German now because of them, because what they sacrificed. I mean, we had to fought really hard battles just for our freedom, and we still do. We still fight for our freedom around the world. And people will take this country sometimes for granted, and that you shouldn't. You should take this every single day and thank God you have your freedom in this country that men and women gave up for.
And that's it. And the other part of it is we forget about the women and the children.
Hmm.
Not only those that fought and helped for war efforts, especially Civil War. Look at World War II. You saw
Yeah.
kids with wagons collecting rubber or cans, newspapers for the war
Hmm.
effort, but
My
also
mom did.
women. Oh yeah.
Yeah, my mom did that. She was in Girl Scouts at the time, and they would go around neighborhoods to local gas stations to see if they held used tires, and they would just collect those used tires and bring it. I don't know whether maybe they had a drop off center. I don't know, but they brought it to a drop off center, and they also collected cans and anything else that they could use. So, yeah, she said that a couple times.
And then you've had the women's groups that have decoration ceremonies, the memorial
Hmm.
gatherings, the fundraising for monuments, the cemetery cleanups, and
Yeah.
support for the widows and the orphans. But then you have the kids. You
Hmm.
know, for instance, in Buffalo, when we were
Hmm.
there helping with that, and Len actually was there as a speaker at that
Yeah.
event. The kids helped put the flags up. The kids, help with the parades, singing
Hmm.
songs, the poetry, and this stuff still goes on to this day.
Yeah. It does.
But we always forget about kids and the work they do.
Uh,
Yeah.
Beautiful reminders with the pictures.
Yeah.
Uh, the memorial that we had here in California just brought tears to our eyes, tugs at the heartstrings.
Hmm.
All those who served, fought, and even died for our freedoms
Right.
just means so very, very much. And we have so many wonderful, wonderful people who are still involved in helping to make it a better world. Oh, how nice it is. And as you know, I served in the military in the Navy,
Yeah.
and that really meant a lot. As a matter of fact, I graduated high school, and the next day I was going off to the Navy. And as I was
Oh
leaving the
wow.
home, my mother saw me with my little bag leaving home, and my mother said to me, "Lenny, I want you to remember this. Wherever you go, whatever you do, whoever you meet, be kind." And those two words are still in my heart and my soul and my mind on a day-to-day
Hmm.
basis. And that's one of the good reasons I served in the Navy as a Navy's top gun, East Coast and all Navy. We did the tactics They call them the CAT program, Kane Air Tactics,
Hmm.
which we went in combat over in Vietnam for 9 months. And using the tactics that we had, we did not lose a single airplane in combat. And the Air Force colonel that was in charge in that area of the world, he was an ace in World War II against the Nazis. Shot down 7 airplanes, and he heard about what we were doing in our squadron. He came out to the ship with his assistant, and he said, "Len, we're losing a lot of airplanes here, and we heard about what you're doing, not losing any. Tell me what you're doing." So I spent more than a half a day with him and his assistant, another Air Force fighter pilot, and we gave him what we were doing. And I said, "Here it is. If it works, keep trying. Don't make any changes. Do what is working." And he said, "Well, that sounds great." So he left, going back to the Air Force section. And about almost a week later, he sent us a message out to the USS Enterprise, which was the aircraft carrier that we were based on. And he said, "Len, it's working so far. We virtually cut our losses in half
Wow.
in a week's time. And that really makes you feel good." And I said, "Well, keep at it, keep it going." And it kept working. And it tugs at the heartstrings to know that what you're doing is helping to save the lives of those who are fighting, to save the lives of others. And I always enjoyed telling the story, not so much to focus on what I was doing, but what everybody else should have been doing and were doing. And we went on to various places in the country and in the world. We were a Navy fighter pilot aboard one of the other aircraft carriers. And when there was a war going on with the bad guys over there in Europe, they said, "Hey, Len, in your fighter squadron, we're going to transfer you over to the good people in France and in Spain. Well, we're going to load some bomber planes on the carriers to make sure that the bad guys in the other bad countries weren't going to be attacking people." So we spent a couple months over there, Spain, and it was wonderful because what they said was, "Hey, fellas, if you'd like your fighter squadron to fly and stay in good shape." So we were flying, and we were doing all kinds of air combat maneuvering and basically putting on what the Navy used to call the Navy air shows, the Golden Eagles and all that. Oh boy!
Right.
So we did it, and it was really wonderful knowing that we were impressing the people in Spain and in Italy, that we were working with them and for them. And again, tugs at the heartstrings, and we had some wonderful times. And I'm getting to the point I'm telling personal stories, but why not? Because all
Why
the
not?
stories that we did and all the things that we contributed to the military really had positive returns. To know that you're saving lives. Excuse me, I get emotional.
Hey, we all
So,
do.
That's all right. Keep going.
so anyway, that's what's over there. And Mary, the wonderful things that you're doing, and ladies and gentlemen who are going to see this, if they're not seeing it right now, Mary Stanley, the lovely lady here, married. She served in the military. She came aboard the organization that we have, the Golden Rule Society Charity. And this is what she's doing right now. This show is going on, and it goes and it touches as many as 197 countries around the world. Is what we're telling them is how to be useful, how to be constructive, how to live the life that you should be living in. And basically, it's to better the lives of others is your life's greatest reward, which makes the rest of your life the best of your life. So do it. Just be courteous and kind. Why not? And we should
Yeah.
all be doing that thing just to know that is bettering the lives of others. Because when you do that, you're bettering your own life as well.
That
Good
is true.
things to do, good people to
And
hear, doing the work of the Lord is what I
Yeah.
always say. So,
and two, when you're kind and you're doing the work and you're putting it forward, your kids see that, and you're changing generations. Example is
Oh yeah.
my
Definitely.
daughter. So she came with me. We were in the Memorial Day parade in our neighboring town, and we're part of the Exchange Club, which is the oldest. Len Kane's one of the oldest, the Golden Rule Society. Well, this is the oldest. We're over 100 years old organization, and they have
Wow.
different pillars, and one of their is Americanism and one nation under God. And so they participate in memorial services. We help put flags out. Um, we partner with the VFW and the American Legions and support creating breakfasts and different events like that. And we have a bunch of different educational programs and support groups.
That's
it's really,
awesome.
go ahead, Kurt.
No, that's really good to hear that your daughter is way involved with this. It's amazing that we should get more children involved in, civil organizations like you are doing, Mary. It's amazing. It's changing the world as we see it through the children's eyes. It's amazing what they can do. But they don't get the press. They don't get the press for it. They just, they should get the honors
Part of
and kudos.
Yes, well, she takes it to the next level. Because, like, for instance,
Hmm.
a couple summers ago, she wanted to volunteer at the local food shelf.
Hmm.
Mom didn't have time because mom was working and dealing
Hmm.
with her brother. She goes
Right.
around me and goes to the director of the food shelf and asks if she can help. Mom can't
Mhm.
say no if she's already offering to do it.
That's true. Mhm. That's
It
true,
means a
Mary.
lot. And my wife Ann, I mentioned she was getting ready to go off to church to help with the organization. Doesn't get paid.
Hmm.
Everybody thinks the world of her. I do too. And she said, Len, when you do these radio shows, at least you tell people that in the Navy, I was selected as there are 5 selections for the Nobel Peace Prize, 5 different years. And in 2014, I was number 2 in the world. And that again makes you feel good that the work that you're trying to do to make it a better world and doing the work of the Lord is recognized. And to be
Yeah,
number 2 in the world, very nice. I'd rather been number 1, but I can't complain because I'm just a coal miner's kid from Pennsylvania. And doing this to help make it a better world tugs at the heartstrings. I keep saying that. And again, we put it together and again, none of us are paid because we ran at a charity, even though we had a charity, the Golden Rule Society. Now we ran it for 33 years. And if people would make donations to us, what we would do, we would take the donation and give it to churches and charities here, there, and everywhere. We never spent any, but we didn't, never got paid. And people say, how do you do that? Well, we're just doing the work of the Lord. And when somebody donates, we say, if they want to make a donation, we encourage everybody, make it to your own church, your own charity, your own, because that way you know where the money's going, you know who they are, and they're going to appreciate what you give. Because you give it to us, we can just give it to other churches or charities or whoever needs it. So that's the way it goes, and that's what we're going to continue doing it, because it makes Mary Stanley big smile, and she continues to do her magic. By the way, people who are going to read it or see this show later, let Mary Stanley, who you see her picture here, she is such a wonderful person that she selected this past year #1 female in the United States with all the work that she's doing. Mary Stanley, I salute you now and always for what you have done and are doing, making it a better
Thank you.
world. God bless you. Keep up your work. And I keep telling everybody about Mary Stanley. Why not?
She's, she's awesome.
Stay with us, Mary. You're super duper.
Oh, you're stuck with me forever.
She's not going anywhere. I make sure of that. She's not going to go anywhere. Yeah, it's amazing that people we have to get the kids more involved with this, and I think you can use your daughter Mary as an example of having other children and youth get involved with Memorial Days. Um, even going to nursing homes and thanking the World War II vets, and just thank just thank them. But sometimes people get the Veterans Day and Memorial Day confused, and it's just totally different than that because um, somebody was saying, "Oh, did you think of vet today?" I said, "No, you don't think of vet on Memorial Day.
No,
It's not to
you
remember."
thank them for their sacrifice.
Right.
And I was
Yeah.
talking to a mayor of our neighboring town, and he brought up a
Hmm.
good point. So Memorial Day, and the big reason why they like to have veterans in the floats and things like that, is to share the story. But it's also to show those people who will sometimes feel isolated that their community
Hmm.
supports them in what they do. So it
Right.
reminds them that they're not alone. Because so many
Okay.
of us struggle with isolation and feelings
Oh, of
of,
course. Yeah. My
um,
father did
yeah.
when he came back from Vietnam. Yeah,
Mom,
totally
I need to kiss my cat in 1 second.
got along. And I don't know why he never joined one of those organizations, AMVETS or an organization like that. He never did. I don't know why, but he kept everything bottled up. He never wanted to talk about it. But I am very honored that he was over there in Vietnam. He was the early one. He was the early guy. When they were in 59 or 60, and did a 2-year tour. And
Well, a lot of us don't like talking about the bad things.
right.
And especially, and it's hard to talk about it, a lot of things that we've done,
Hmm.
because civilians either ask you really stupid questions or they don't
Yeah.
understand.
Right.
Uh,
Is there an organization where we could better educate the civilians how to treat the vets more, or is it
Other than with common sense.
Oh, or sometimes we're lacking common sense in this
Okay,
country.
yes, common sense is not common practice anymore in our country. We
Right,
know this.
right. Yeah,
It's something that you're always taught. I don't know about
right,
you, but I was always taught growing up that you never ask a soldier if they killed somebody. You
right,
never ask, you talk about what did you see, what did you do, in the sense
right.
of, we talked about this on a different show. We were watching, what was it, Memphis Belle or some one of the,
Hmm. Yeah, I saw Memphis Belle. Yes.
well, they have a new, and oh, it was me and Jim were talking about it. And we were laughing about it because it was a military, made for military movie.
Hmm.
It, I don't know if Lenny, if you remember watching these movies and training, how boring they were back in the when you watched them when you were forced to watch them. But now they actually, you enjoy watching them. Now you don't have to watch them. But they actually recently found footage that was scratched and damaged, so they couldn't put it into the original movie. And you're watching these original fighter jets from or planes from World War II, and how you had to crawl up through the bomb
Hmm.
into the pilot's feet, and then you're sitting in the gunners in those little glass balls underneath the plane.
Yeah. I told you my stepfather about
Yeah.
how he was a tail gunner, and that's that seaplane they used in World War II. The rescue plane had the boat bottom on it. I can't remember
Mm-hmm.
what it was called, but he was a tail gunner on one of those planes, and he said he had to basically put his knees up to his chest. The gun was right in the middle, right there. Um, yeah, you had to be very agile to get into one of those bubbles. Uh,
Well, and the cool part is these guys never flown in their lives other than to get overseas.
right.
Aircraft was a new thing.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of maps about what things were up in air from what
Right.
and so they're
Yeah.
using compasses. There was no GPS. There was no technology that we
No.
have now, and they had to fly, drop, and bomb and shoot
Oh
all at the
yeah.
same time.
I
And
know
the
My
that.
conditions,
family for
right? And those conditions in those planes, they were flying at altitude about maybe 30,000 feet, and they were saying the temperature was like minus 50 inside the plane. And they were dealing with frostbite while they're shooting at Germans. Uh, I can't even imagine what they went through. Fighting at 50 below zero. That's unreal. But they had to do it. They had to do it. They had either they didn't they die. Um,
well, and you even look at the conditions like when you're overseas. A
yeah.
lot of times you don't pack. You leave in the spring, so you're packing your summer gear.
Mhm.
You don't always pack your winter stuff. So then you're there for a year or two. You're waiting for the winter stuff to come. You're wearing next to nothing, fighting in
Right.
an environment that you've never been
Yeah.
in, adapting to it.
Well, that's what the Germans got caught off guard during the Eastern Front. They were wearing the winter or what the winter and the summer clothes in the middle of the winter, and they were freezing to death. And that's how basically they lost the war in Russia because of that. Because they were losing men, freezing to death because they didn't dress properly for it. Oh yeah,
Well, and then you have the opposite in the Middle East.
yeah.
The old cliche, war is hell. That
It
really is
Hmm.
is.
tough. And you reminded me of something, Carl and Kurt and Mary. I really like to tell about it because I mentioned that we were over there in Vietnam flying at
Hmm.
altitude. We didn't lose any airplanes. But who's on the
Hmm.
ground fighting the war were all of these Marines, our Marines. And
Right.
you know they're there, but you can't really see them because you're flying your airplane. and they're looking up there. And anyway, the war went on, and fortunately, God bless, we won the war, if you will. And
Mm.
a couple of years later, after it was over, a gentleman by the name of Jim Kyle was one of the Marines on the ground, and he
Mm.
heard about what I was doing up at altitude. And small world that it is, I'm from Pennsylvania. He's from Pennsylvania. We didn't know each other, but we had a lot in common. Oh yeah, sure. Talk about that. Anyway, and he said, Len, I heard all the nice things that you're doing in aviation and helping out. And he says, I want you to come down to Texas and meet this gentleman by the name of Alexander Candelario. I said, who's that? He was one of the Marines that was working with him fighting the war over there in Vietnam. However, Alexander Candelario, big, tall, handsome, pretty good guy, he was medically discharged because he was physically injured. Maybe he lost part of his body in the combat. So he says, Len, you got to come down here and meet this gentleman. I said, well, how would time be, but what's the deal? He said, just come on down. So took an airplane, flew on down to Texas, went there, and here's Alexander. He's not only physically retired, but mentally he was trying to go, and they sent him to a little hospital. They taken care of him, but they were also treating him in a little like a college, but it was just educational stuff that they wanted to be nice to him. So I went and met him, and I said, Jim Kyle said I should meet you. What's going on? Well, Alexander Keller told me what he was doing, and the guy is brilliant. Simple as that. The best thing I could. And he was involved in a whole bunch of things that would be put into a business would help people. So I said, well, tell me more about it. And I spent almost a full day there with him. And about halfway through the day, showing me what he was doing, I called on the telephone and I said, we're opening up a business, a commercial organization. Boom. We funded it right there. And I funded it. And okay, I said, okay, now we have a corporation to put all the good things that you're doing into effect. Well, he said, oh, that was great. So he made me an assistant, a directory. But when I left Texas, he pretty much had to do most of the stuff himself because he was the one with brilliance. And I'm back in California, staying in touch all the time, up to speed and all this and that and the other. And we still stay in touch on almost a day-to-day, weekly basis. Long story short, and I'm going to get it to you right now. That was many years ago. But guess what happened? Let's see, 3.5, almost 4 years ago. The organization that Alexander put together, it's called Intiva Health, INTIVA, information technology, videos, audio, blah, blah, blah. Intiva. And guess what? Intiva Health is now the #1 organization in the world supporting the medical industry. Doctors, nurses, hospitals, they all the people who know, they say, well, we got medicines here, we got that, what do we do with it? Involved into the Intiva Health program, saving lives, stopping people from being just in constant pain. And it's happening. You ask a lot of people about it. Most all the doctors, they're with it now. And church, the hospitals, they're all familiar with it because it is just working on. Can you imagine that? A guy wounded in combat, and he gets there, and suddenly he is the head man, the Intiva Health in the world. And it just, again, I use the term tugs at the heartstrings to know that we help put together a program that is saving lives on a day-to-day basis. And we ended up building two major manufacturing plants over in Arizona, and we needed to meet a bigger third one, and we're going to build it. And this organization came and said, "Don't build it." We said, "Why not?" He says, "We've got one this side for you already, which was already built." Oh, okay. So we had then three major manufacturing plants just to take care of all the health that was going on nationwide, worldwide. Again, tugs at the heartstrings, but Kurt, I want you to do us a big favor, Kurt. Tell everybody you know about Intiva Health, would you? I hope so. So, Mary, how are we doing?
Yes, sir. We are doing.
What tail? Wait, it's ready.
There we go.
Is Kurt
Hey,
still with, Kurt still with us?
I'm right here.
Okay, good. I hope that tugged at your heartstrings.
Oh,
Hey,
yes, definitely. And it's a wonderful organization.
So, Mary, what do you think? How's the time going along?
Doing good.
we are good.
Very good.
You know,
That's a,
go ahead, Kurt.
no, this is really, this is a good show how to get the awareness out of to the people that they should help the community as far as honoring the vets and also honoring the people who women and men who gave up their lives for us. This is a really good show. It gives awareness to what we need to do.
Well,
And
Mary,
it's
I
just,
think it's
go
been
ahead.
super. Maybe we should take the rest of the day off. What do you think?
Mike, I would love to, but I have a meeting tonight and my kid starts back up school today. So they head
Oh,
off.
oh, really?
Well,
Okay.
we've got a lot
All
more to
right.
do, and we might as well
We
take
got
the
another
good
week
time.
left.
Yeah. Are they going to start homeschool then?
No, they start summer school. So my kids don't go to school like in school. They go to school online.
Okay.
And they got the reward last year of not having summer school and they
All right.
thought they were being punished.
Oh my gosh.
Only my kids enjoy school.
Oh yeah. The only ones in the nation.
And so they get a month off and then they go back to school for a month. And then they start up again in August. And they're in school for about a week and a half. And they take a week off because we're going to New York.
Yeah. I can't wait for that one. That is going to be awesome show. That is going to be that's going to be cool. Len, are you gonna be here too in September? Or are you gonna
I'm sorry.
join
What was
us?
the question?
Are you gonna be here in September?
I'm going to be here in September in Good Worlds if he lets me.
Okay. All right.
What's
So
going on in September?
we are going to be at the Naval Park and at the Patriots
29.
Park. I lost the name for the 25th anniversary of 9/11. So we will be on
that the-
location live.
Is that the Navy Park at the
Yes.
Jim, where Jim and Ron and Linda Clay going to be?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
That's it. Well, I'm planning to be there. Absolutely.
Oh, cool.
Have you been there before then, Kurt?
Oh yeah, several times.
Oh,
Kurt lives
okay.
right down the road from it.
It's only 10 minutes from here. Yes.
Super
And
duper.
also, just for a note, Little Rock will not be there. Not the Little Rock,
The Sullivan.
Sullivan will not be there. Well, that's right. I understood. I heard it. They're going to take it down to the naval base in Virginia. They're taking it down there for repairs.
Well, wonderful.
So-
Well, we look forward to seeing you there then, Kurt. And Mary,
Yes.
God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all
You
that
too,
you've
sir.
done, all that you do.
Oh, I want to thank you.
Oh,
I saw
Mary,
you on YouTube.
You saw me on YouTube. Show me.
Hello.
Doesn't matter. Well, I'm gonna go find my unicorn. Have you seen it?
I have no idea what you're talking about, which is not unusual.
And two, where is my unicorn? My big stuffy one.
In the shop. So apparently we're live on YouTube.
Oh,
okay.
cool. All right.
She came out to
Awesome.
tell me, I'm watching you on TV.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay. Well, Mary and Kurt,
Uh,
I'm gonna salute and say adios for now, and I'm gonna make sure that I give my wife Ann a hug and a kiss before she runs off to church, okay?
All right.
Yes, sir.
Sounds good.
See you tomorrow, sir.
Okay,
Talk
same
to you
time.
later, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
sir. All right.